Hello and welcome to your brain dump starter list. So there is nothing worse than just feeling stressed and overwhelmed and like there's not enough hours in the day and there's too much to do and you're just not going to get through all of it. And I get it. Everyone's been there. I've been there. We've all been there. And this is hands down the best way I have found to stop feeling overwhelmed and stressed and like I can't get everything done and like there's too much stuff and not enough time. And also to then get clarity to then actually be able to make sure that the important things get done. Okay. So basically what I do every week, I tend to do it weekend tends to be when I do it. And then thinking for the week ahead, I do a brain dump and I empty everything out of my brain. And when I say everything, I mean everything. So this first sheet here is about the studio. But as we go through this, you'll see that I really do mean we're going to get everything out of our heads. Absolutely everything. If you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I should write that down, you should. If it's in your head, even if it's completely seemingly irrelevant, write it down. The purpose of this is not to edit as we go. The purpose of this is to empty your head. Okay, so print this off and fill it in however you want to, however's useful for you. Don't obsess about whether you're using this document the right way. If it's helping you empty your head, do it. If you just want to use the categories that I've got here and actually you'd rather do it on a massive sheet of paper, do that. If you'd rather do each thing that's popped into your head on an individual post-it, do that. It really doesn't matter. What I want for you from this resource is to be able to empty your head and to give you some prompts to help you get started on that process. Okay, so don't edit as you go. If it's in your head, write it down. Don't obsess about whether you're using this the way I meant it or not. Ask yourself, is it helping you empty your head, how you're using it? And if the answer to that question is yes, keep going. Okay, so I tend to separate my brain dump out so that I feel like I've got everything covered. Okay, so I look at what do I need to do for the studio this week, and I tend to think in terms of the things that we do in the Dance Business Success Academy. We know that there's an area around team and people that we've got to consider. We know that we need to be on it with our marketing. We know we need to keep an eye on the money. We know that we need to be thinking about our student retention. And then I've left a couple of other boxes here because there's always other stuff as well. So for example, this week for team, I'm hiring for another teacher. So I'm going to put about posting my person description everywhere I can find that I can post it. So I'm going to really be selling that position everywhere. Okay, so that would go in my team thing. A couple of my team members have put in for holiday, so I know I need to do a review of holiday requests, so I'd write that in there. I'm thinking about our team retreat in the summer, so where I get all my team together to do some training. I don't need to plan that yet, but I'm starting to get some ideas together for that, so I want to spend a couple of minutes just scribbling those down while they're in my head. So I'm going to write down everything in here. We've also got an event coming up, so I might use one of my blank boxes as stuff for that event that I need to think of. Marketing, I've got all my social media planned out for this month, but a couple of weeks ago I wouldn't have had, so I might have put create 4 emails to send out, yada yada yada, so that would go in there. Finance, there's not a lot to do on that front for me this week. I've run payroll, my bookkeeper's all over it with cash flow, so there wouldn't be anything for me to write in this week, but that's okay. I've got another blank box here that I could use as I wanted to, and then retention. Is there anything I need to do for student retention this month? And in terms of that, yes, there is. We've got a couple of bits coming up that I need to do some things for. Okay, so in your studio, what do you need to do this week? Scribble it down. And even if it's something that isn't this week, but it's in your head, scribble it down anyway. Maybe you're going to use one of these boxes as a don't need to do it now, but it's on my mind. So remember, use it however you want. And if you just want to use the categories and write it on a big bit of paper or little post-its, go for it. Okay, so the longer you spend planning, and this is part of your planning, the longer you spend planning, the more effective your work time will be. So I would encourage you to not rush this process. Don't turn it into a massive big deal, but you know, make yourself a cup of tea. The sun happens to be shining as I'm recording this, so were I doing this right now, I'd probably make a cup of tea, take it out into my garden, and just kind of sit in the process and enjoy having this time to know that I'm going to help myself feel calm and under control. Okay, then I've got another category of other work. So for me, that would be things that I do for you guys. So things for my coaching clients, things for my inspirational dance teacher members. So for me, other work would be stuff to do with that. So recording this training for you, having created this PDF for you. I'm going to have social media stuff going out this month. I've planned all of that. I've planned what's going to go in my newsletters. I need to write those. I've got a couple of exciting blogs coming up. Maybe I've got one of these is for blogs. Equally, it might be that you have a job and maybe there's some things that you need to do for your boss. Maybe your boss has asked you, I don't know, for some inspirational quotes to go up on the notice board at work. And you're probably going to do it while you're at work, but equally, it's something that you need to give a bit of thought to, say. So anything for any other work, whether that's other business that you run, whether it's a job that you have that you've got to give some thought to while you're not there, or even stuff that you're going to do while you're there, but it's on your mind. Remember, if it's in your head, write it down. And it could even be, depending on how you want to use these, it could even be that you do voluntary work and maybe there's stuff for that you need to do. So anything that's other work, and obviously you can print these out. So if you want 3 different things for other work, so maybe you've got another business you run, you might want to print off one for that. Maybe then you want to print off another one for your day job. Maybe you want to print off another one for your voluntary work. Remember, use it how you want to. So you've got one to just trigger your brain. Is there stuff for other work that you need to do that isn't your studio? Then home. This one is, it often looks very similar for me. I always need to do a bit of a tidy up so that I can do a bit of cleaning. We wear clothes every week, so I always need to do some laundry. And then I've put meal stuff because for me, I like to think about what meals we're going to have. So I'll do a meal plan. And then I'll need to do a food shop to be able to have those meals. And then especially at the weekend, I like to do a bit of meal prep to kind of get ahead and get organized and sorted for the week. So meal stuff, that's what I would put in there. It could be find a new recipe. It could be make a birthday cake for a friend, you know, whatever. So this one for me looks very similar most weeks. Laundry, I often don't need to put anything in this box. It's just, you know, it's a trigger that the fact that I need clean knickers for the week is in my head. So I don't necessarily write down, make sure you've got clean knickers. I'm aware of that. But just having laundry written down just enables me to go, cool, you don't need to think about that anymore because you've got it written down. But maybe there is something you need to think about actually. So for example, this week I had to go and pick up my dry cleaning. That's not something I do every week. I wait until I've got enough dry cleaning to, I'm not going to lie, to be bothered to go to the dry cleaners. Then I take it all in one go. And then a couple of weeks later, I go back and collect it all in one go. So it might be put in the dry cleaning or collect the dry cleaning. It's not really laundry, but I also had a pair of shoes rehealed this week, which happens to be at the same place where I take my dry cleaning. So I'd probably also put in under laundry reheal shoes. I've got a pair of white, like kind of cross between trainers and summery plimsolls that I wanted to wear. I went to a matinee of a theatre show yesterday, and I was like, oh, it's a matinee, I reckon I can wear flats. But they just looked a little bit grubby, so that might go on there. Clean pumps. Okay. Cleaning, again, I don't know about you, but my cleaning routine is pretty much the same every week. If there's a room that particularly needs attention, I might write that down on there. I'm looking around now and going, okay, I cleaned all my dog's bedding. She's got a crate in our lounge that's like her bedroom. It's like her safe space. She loves it. I cleaned all the bedding from that last week. Do you know what? I'm looking through to the kitchen where she's also got a bed. Yeah, that stuff could probably do with cleaning this week. So maybe I'd put that under there. Remember, use it how you want. And this page, you might feel like you could just create a master one of these because it's the same every week, and then you just add to these ones if it's something different. Remember, it doesn't matter whether you must do it this week or whether it doesn't need to be done for 6 weeks. It doesn't matter if you do it every week, but it's in your head. If it's in your head, write it down. The purpose is to empty your head. Then hobby related stuff. So even though we do things for fun, there are still things that need to be done for them. So for example, I ice skate. I could really do with having my skates sharpened. Skates are, oh goodness, there's there's a tractor going up my road. I do apologize if you can hear that. We're keeping it real, we're being authentic. It's Sunday morning. Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, skates are like any blade, they need sharpening over time. So I might go, okay, right, for ice skating I need to get my skates sharpened. I could also do with a new pair of gloves. I have a pair of gloves just for skating, so that they're always in my skating bag so I can never forget them. And they've got holes in both index fingers, so maybe buy gloves for skating. I also ballroom dance. I've got a private lesson booked. But if this was a week where I didn't have that, I might write in ballroom up here and then book another private lesson. So anything to do with hobbies, it might be that you've got kind of a hobby that's something you do at home, so crafting maybe, or baking or whatever, and maybe you want to do some of that at the weekend. So maybe it's going to be look up new cupcake recipe, buy ingredients. So it's just something that acknowledges the fact that you are a whole human who, as well as working hard and as well as keeping your home, fully functioning, you've actually got some hobbies, and actually there's time that needs to be spent on those things as well, because there are things in your head about those. It might be, if let's say you're a real bookworm, maybe you've got a couple of books and actually it's kind of playing on your mind. I'm a massive bookworm, but somehow I've ended up with a massive stack of books that I haven't yet read, which isn't like me. I normally read it cover to cover as soon as it gets in through my front door. But I've got a stack of books that I want to read. If that was playing on my mind, read a book this week. It really doesn't matter. Do not edit, do not filter. If it's in your head, write it down. Okay, people related stuff. So I find that it plays on my mind if I know I've not caught up with the people that I want to catch up with. So I'll quite often put on here, most weeks I'll make a note that I'm going to text my mum about meeting up that week. I know I want to see my mum every week, and in order for that to happen, I need to contact her, and that will play on my mind if I haven't done it. Not contact her, I'll contact her anyway, but it'll play on my mind if we don't have the next date in the diary. So I'll write down, text mum about meeting up. I have a dog who during the week, my husband tends to walk her. I tend to walk her at the weekend. It just fits in around our schedules that way. I do more hours during the week, and my husband teaches all day on a Saturday, so it's kind of the best division of labour for us. And because I've got a good amount of time at the weekend, I'll quite often book a big dog field near us where she can just run and run and run and run and run, and she loves it. But I've actually got to book that. So I know it says people related stuff, but anyone who's got a dog will know that yeah, they're a dog, but they come under people. Of course they do. So it might be this one's about my mum, text her, arrange what we're going to do, Drizzt, book the dog field, and maybe it's also that she, I don't know, she's got this goo that goes on the back of her neck to counteract against, I think it's fleas. I don't even know. That's terrible, isn't it? I should probably look it up exactly what that goo is, but it's medicated goo that the vet tells us we need. So I'm confident that we're doing the right thing. It might be that that's due this week, so give Drizzt her goo. That might go in there. It's important to me that I spend some time with my husband, so ask if he wants to do a barbecue this weekend. Whatever it is, whatever people it's important to you that you see, do you need to do stuff this week around that so that your brain is calm? I still see some friends from college. We've known each other, at the time of recording, more than 20 years. And we meet up the first Friday of the month to make sure we actually do it. That's why we've booked it as First Friday Club. So if it's maybe the third week of the month, I might say contact Lizzie and Vicky about First Friday next month. Maybe there's been somewhere in your on your travels that you're like, I really want to try there, I really want to go there, that would be really nice. Maybe you write that down in one of these spare boxes, so like go for dinner at the new Italian in town, and then you've written about contacting those two friends over here. I'm going to contact Lizzie and Vicky about First Friday Club and ask them if they'd like to go for dinner at the new Italian in town. Do you see how this starts to work now? By not filtering, by not kind of stopping to edit whether what we're writing down is correct or not. No, if it's in your head, write it down. And then anything else, because your lifestyle is different to my lifestyle, is different to every other single member in the group's lifestyle, every other single Dance Business Success Academy member. They're all different. So I've given you some anything else options. And it might be that you just use this as anything else that's in your head and you stick it on this page. That's fine. You might scribble out the words anything else and go, actually, there's something specific that needs to go in here that needs a page of its own. Cool. Do that. It might be that you've got caring responsibilities, say, so actually you might want a whole page for that. It might be that there's lots going on with your kids at the moment, so actually you need a whole page just for children. So you've got your people page, but maybe your childcare commitments or your other caring commitments actually need a page of their own. Or it might just be that you just need a dumping ground for anything that this process triggers in you that doesn't neatly fit into one of the other pages, and that is totally fine. Okay, so bear in mind what I said at the beginning, that there is no right or wrong way to use this. The purpose of this is to get you thinking and to get your brain empty. So do not stop and analyze. Am I using this the way Alison meant me to? Am I using this the right way? I don't care. I don't care. And that's not to say I don't care about you. I care about you hugely. What I care about is not whether you use my PDF the right way or not. I care about, having used my PDF, is your brain empty? Is there anything else you're thinking of? And if you've got everything out of your head and onto paper, you have used this correctly. Remember, I said you can either print this off and fill it in. You can just use these as triggers and write it on a massive bit of paper. You can write it on each little thing on an individual post-it. I don't mind. It doesn't matter. Don't analyze how you're using this. Just use this to empty your head. And by empty your head, I mean it. There is nothing in your head that shouldn't be on this paper. Do not edit. Do not filter. Do not stop and think, shall I write that down? If it's in your head, the answer is yes. If you ask yourself the question, shall I write that down? The answer is yes. The purpose is to empty your head. Okay. And once you've done that, oh, the feeling is amazing. Don't stress. Like if you look at it and go like, oh goodness, there's so much on here. Yeah, cool. But the amount of stuff hasn't changed. That amount of stuff was still there. It was just in your head. And now it's on paper. There's going to be another training following this one that shows you from your brain dump what to do next. So keep your eyes open for that one. But in the meantime, just enjoy how much lighter you'll feel, how much easier your shoulders will feel, how much more relaxed you'll feel having taken everything out of your head and putting it onto paper. Let me know how you go.